A 7-Eleven in Japan might close for a day. And that's a big deal. What do you know about 7-Eleven, Will?
They're huge in Asia, that's for sure.
So 7-Eleven started in Texas. You understand that, Will?
Did it really?
Yeah, it started in Texas a long time ago. I think in the 60s, something like that. We got this article here on the New York Times, goes over the history a little bit. But it was taken over by a Japanese-based company in the 90s, in 1991. Actually, 7-Eleven was started in the 1920s. How about that for a business? Started up in the 1920s, still kicking 2020. That's a 100-year-old business. That's a 100-year-old store.
And they're thriving.
Imagine they should do something cool for a 100-year anniversary. I don't know what yet, but they should do something cool for a 100-year anniversary. Yeah. Anyway, so they were super popular in Japan, so it kind of makes sense that now they're controlled by a Japanese company. You want to take a shot, Will? Take a wild guess at what percentage of Japan's convenience stores are 7-Elevens?
I know the main three.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear what you got here, Will.
So there's Family Mart.
You're damn right there is.
There's Lawson.
You're damn right there is.
And then there's 7-Eleven.
Is this because of Strictly Dumpling? Is he who got you into this?
Yeah.
Yeah. He does a nice 7-Eleven video, doesn't he?
There's three like main
Family Mart. Were we not at Family Mart in Shenzhen?
Yeah.
We were. Okay, so they moved into China as well.
Yes.
But yeah, it's the big three.
Yes.
In convenience stores. There's 55,000 convenience stores in total in Japan. 40% are 7-Elevens. That's big time.
Yes.
That's a lot of stores. And of course, the whole concept with 7-Eleven, 24 hours. Mm-hmm. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
7-Eleven, though.
They're open. 11. They're open. That's it. Don't look too deeply into it. They're just open. If you want to know, they're open. And what's interesting, the culture, the convenience store culture in Japan, it's a bit foreign to guys like you and I. Mm-hmm. They perceive the convenience store as kind of a utility, as kind of a place that should be open all the time for an emergency, part of the community. Mm-hmm. Around here, the convenience store ain't what it used to be. In fact, we had a 7-Eleven across the street that shut down. No business, because people go to the supermarket a lot, especially along here. Mm-hmm. You know? There are convenience stores, don't get me wrong. But you have the gas station convenience stores often. Uh-huh. It's a different dynamic.
Yes. It's different.
But there, it's the foot traffic, it's the density. The convenience store is perfect.
Mm-hmm. You can get all types of meals, like during the morning, afternoon, and dinner. Like you can get everything there.
You know, come to think of it.
Uh-oh.
What's the problem?
You're thinking.
Come to think of it, I like the idea of the convenience store.
You do?
Yeah, there's something. Now, I realize this is not fair to say because I don't work there. I don't run a 7-Eleven, but there is something warm about knowing that it's always there for you.
Uh-huh.
This dude is mad. I should just deal with the store. He wants to close on New Year's Day. And the franchise says, you ain't going to close, brother. It's against the rules. Or 7-Eleven. Get with the program. Now, he's been saying his wife used to work the store with him. She died, and he's saying, man, I can't find employees. I'm in Japan. Population crisis. There's no new people. I can't hire anyone. Minimum wage through the roof. I got to be here every day. I'm working 12-hour shifts. I got 2 other employees. Barely hanging on to them.
Yeah.
Let me take a day. Let me take one day he wants. And then they say, well, you take that day. What does everybody else do? 55,000 stores. We got 40%. Everybody take that day? Oh, what about everybody wants to take another day? I'll take 10 days. And you kind of lose the thing. The thing is the thing. It's an all or nothing type of feel. Mm-hmm. It's weird. I'm not saying the guy shouldn't take the day, for the record. I'm just saying it's a warmth to it to know it's always there for you. And I understand what they're saying from a cultural perspective, where what the convenience store represents. But we haven't seen a 24-hour 7-Eleven around these parts for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, I mean, they still exist downtown. They're still there.
And they're very different from Asian
Very
7-Elevens.
different. Very different. I mean, if there was a 7-Eleven, Japanese or Singapore 7-Eleven around the corner here, I'm there.
Yeah. I'm living there.
I'm there. But you understand they got to compete with TNT.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Well, the 24/7 thing would be
The 24/7
pretty nice.
aspect. Yeah, but Willie, dude, you're not going out 2 a.m.
I
You're not going out 2 a.m., man.
don't know, man.
Anyway, so he wants to close the store for a day. They're embroiled in an argument. But the cool takeaway, well, first of all, I'm kind of into this stuff right now, just on a personal note.
Mm-hmm.
I find this content to be interesting. You know, the cultural component of just how things are. The convenience store in the West is kind of like a last resort type of place.
Uh-huh.
If you can't get it elsewhere or everything else is closed, fine, I'll go to a convenience store. But over there, it's embraced.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find that to be interesting in the different way that it plays a role in the community. And so that was a cool read for me. But apparently it's breaking down a little bit as part of that culture, like I said, because of those factors. Because of the fact that you're unable to staff it. It's difficult to staff it now. And in the future, this piece of culture may be changed. Maybe not lost entirely, but it might be different than it has been. And there's obviously various reasons for why. Now, this guy owns the store. That's the way it works. But 7-Eleven does the logistics. They bring in, you know, the various items to stock the shelves.
Uh-huh.
They want the stores to look a certain way. It's your typical kind of franchise setup. So, I don't know. You tell me, Will. What do you think? Does he shut down for a day? Is 7-Eleven 7-Eleven if they're open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. like the name implies? What if it's not 24 hours? Does it lose something for you? The appeal?
No, I mean it's New Year's, right?
No, never mind New Year's. I'm just saying if it has to shift with the culture completely. If they just say, look, do what you want. Store owners, have your own hours. Because the thing is, if you can't staff it, everyone's gonna just pick typical store hours.
Right.
Eventually, I'm saying if they lighten up on their grip of trying to impose that, you could imagine them going more like a coffee shop or something from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. or something.
Uh-huh.
But I'm saying, man, it's unfortunate because that midnight or 2 a.m. convenience store situation, that's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all done it.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
It's tough. I would say take a break.
Yeah.
I working too hard, it's
no good.
yeah, especially if it's like 4 a.m.
Right.
and you're just like there alone.
Mm.
It's like, who else is coming?
Yeah, or pick up the slack, I guess, maybe if the franchise wants to somehow figure out a way to staff the place. But that appears to be the difficult part. It wouldn't have been a problem if you had readily available staff.
Right.
Somebody would take the cash to work on New Year's Day, I assume.
Well, wouldn't it be up to the franchisee then?
Yeah,
To
but
hire
he's
more
saying
staff?
in this article, he's saying he can't find staff. That's it. He's got these 2 guys. That's all he can get. And so that's the reason he needs to bail. I'm sure he wouldn't mind being open if someone was willing to work. In fact, it would be a lot easier to run the place if you could find staff. But apparently across the world, man, it's an issue in developed nations. I was listening to a podcast about Burger King there's like one individual owner owns 500 Burger Kings, and he was trying to find a way to hold on to staff because he had locations ready to open and could not spend all the money to get the thing, I think in Connecticut, get the thing all ready to go and couldn't even find people to work there.
Huh.
It's a tough gig, man.